feature cyber wrongdoing insights. 50% of UK businesses experienced a few frame of cyber assault in 2023. About 1 billion emails were uncovered in a single year, influencing 1 in 5 web clients. Information breaches taken a toll businesses in normal of $4.35 million in 2022. Around 236.1 million ransomware assaults happened all-inclusive within the to begin with half of 2022. 1 in 2 American web clients had their accounts breached in 2021. 39% of UK businesses detailed enduring a cyber assault in 2022. Around 1 in 10 U.S. associations have no protections against cyber assaults. 53.35 million U.S. citizens were affected by cyber wrongdoing within the to begin with half of 2022. Cyber wrongdoing fetched UK businesses in normal of £4,200 in 2022. In 2020, malware attacks increased by 358% compared to 2019. The foremost common cyber danger confronting businesses and people is phishing. Cyber wrongdoing diagram. Cyber assaults universally expanded by 125% in 2021 compared to 2020, and expanding volumes of cyber assaults kept on debilitate businesses and individuals in 2022. What is the foremost common sort of cyber wrongdoing? Phishing remains the foremost common frame of cyber wrongdoing. In 2021, 323,972 web clients detailed falling casualty to phishing assaults. This implies half of the clients who endured an information breach fell for a phishing assault. Amid the stature of the widespread, phishing episodes rose by 220%. 2021 saw about 1 billion emails uncovered, influencing 1 in 5 internet users. This may mostly clarify the preceded predominance of phishing assaults. How much does phishing fetch casualties? In spite of its predominance, phishing had the least misfortune to casualties. People lose in normal of $136 in phishing assaults. This is often well underneath the average data breach, taking a toll of $12,124. Visit our Phishing Insights page for the most recent data on worldwide phishing patterns. Ransomware, a developing danger. Ransomware attacks continue to posture a genuine danger to people and associations, with more progressed assault strategies driving payouts from casualties. Around 236.1 million ransomware assaults were detailed around the world within the first half of 2022. For more data, visit our ransomware statistics page. The fetch of cyber wrongdoing. It is clear that the rate and taken a toll of information breaches are expanding. Since 2001, the casualty check has expanded from 6 casualties per hour to 97, a 1,517% increment over 20 a long time. The normal fetch of information breaches per hour around the world has moreover expanded. In 2001, the normal fetch per hour to people was $2,054. Since at that point, the hourly misfortune rate has expanded, standing in 2021 at $787,671. The expanding danger to associations universally implies more are taking cybersecurity truly. 73% of SMBs concur that cybersecurity concerns presently require activity, with 78% saying they will increment venture in cybersecurity within the following 12 months. A concerning measurement is that 67% of SMBs feel that they don't have the in-house abilities to bargain with information breaches. Be that as it may, this issue is relieved as expanding numbers of SMBs are working with overseen benefit suppliers for cybersecurity. 89% as of 2022, up from 74% in 2020. We work with numerous businesses in which compliance and control are major variables and give IT back for law firms and budgetary administrations companies, among others. We know it has never been more vital to require cybersecurity genuinely. What is the costliest type of cyber wrongdoing? In 2022, venture extortion was the foremost exorbitant shape of cyber wrongdoing, with a normal of $70,811 misplaced per casualty. How much does cyber wrongdoing fetch businesses? In 2022, information breaches taken a toll businesses in normal of $4.35 million, up from $4.24 million in 2021. How did the widespread influence cybersecurity? The widespread influenced cybersecurity as businesses were constrained to quickly move to farther work situations. Cyber offenders took advantage of organized misalignments and security gaps as these moves happened. In 2020, malware assaults expanded 358% compared to 2019. COVID-19 clearly impacted the number of hourly casualties. 2019 cyber wrongdoing insights appear the hourly number of casualties was 53. In 2020, the primary full year of the widespread, the hourly number of casualties bounced to 90, an increment of 69%. Worldwide cyber wrongdoing measurements. What nation has the most grounded cybersecurity? Poland has the most grounded cybersecurity, agreeing to the National Cybersecurity List. The NCSI measures a country's capacity to avoid cyber dangers and oversee cyber occurrences. As of December 2023, the 5 nations with the most elevated scores on the NCSI are Poland 90.83, Estonia 85.83, Ukraine 80.83, Latvia 79.17, Joined Together Kingdom 75.00. Where are associations most at chance of cyber wrongdoing? In 2021, Asian associations endured the foremost assaults around the world. The rate of assaults against associations by landmass in 2021 is as takes after. Asia, 26%. Europe, 24%. North America, 23%. Center East and Africa, 14%. Latin America, 13%. The UK had the most elevated number of cyber wrongdoing casualties per million web clients at 4,783 in 2022, up 40% over 2020 figures. The nation with the following most elevated number of casualties per million web clients in 2022 was the USA, with 1,494, a 13 increase over 2020. 1 in 2 North American web clients had their accounts breached in 2021. The UK and USA have excessively more casualties of cyber wrongdoing per million web clients compared to other nations. The USA had 759% more casualties in 2021 than the next highest nation, Canada. The Netherlands has seen the most prominent rise in casualties, 50% more than in 2020. Greece has seen the biggest diminish in casualties, down 75% over 2020. In 2021, there were a normal of 97 information breach casualties each hour around the world. Between May 2020 to 2021, cyber wrongdoing within the Asia-Pacific region increased by 168%. Japan experienced a 40% increment in cyber assaults in May 2021 compared to past months that year. Between Q2 and Q3 of 2022, the nations that have endured the biggest increments in information breaches are China, 4,852% producing to 14,157,775 breached accounts. Japan, 1,423% measuring to 1,246,373 breached accounts. South Korea, 1,007% summing to 1,669,124 breached accounts. The nations with the biggest diminishes in information breaches between Q2 and Q3 2022 are Sri Lanka, minus 99% producing to 1,440,432 less breached accounts. Myanmar, minus 82% producing to 17,887 less breached accounts. Iraq, minus 78% measuring to 16,113 less breached accounts. There was a 70% increment in accounts breached in Q3 2022 compared to Q2. 108.9 million accounts were breached between July-September in 2022. This likens to 14 accounts being spilled each moment. 76% of respondents in a 2022 case consider covering the US, Canada, UK, Australia, and in New Zealand say their association has endured its slightest one cyber assault this year. This can be a huge increment over the 55% figure in 2020. From the same consider, as over 30% have cyber protections, with 69 artful that a fruitful cyber assault might put their SMB out of trade completely. In 2021, there was a few change within the attack sorts utilized when breaching associations. In Asia, the most assault sort experienced was server get-to, with 20% of watched assaults. This was ahead of ransomware 11% and information burglary 10%. In Europe, ransomware was the most assault sword, bookkeeping for 26% of assaults within the landmass. Server get-to assaults 12% and information burglary 10% were the following most common assault sorts. In North America, the most assault sort was also ransomware, with 30% of assaults. This was ahead of trade email compromise 12% and server get-to assaults 9%. Within the Center East and Africa, the most assault sort watched was server get-to, making up 18% of assaults. Server get-to assaults were too seen in 18% of assaults, taken after by misconfiguration 14%. In Latin America, the most assault sort was ransomware, making up 29% of assaults. This was ahead of trade mail compromise and credential harvesting, both seen in 21% of assaults. E-commerce extortion is anticipated to take in a toll the retail segment $48 billion, all-inclusive in 2023. Online installment extortion is anticipated to take in a toll businesses $343 billion between 2023 to 2027. For an up-to-date direct on choosing an IT supplier who can offer assistance keep you secure from cybercrime, check out Direct to Outsourcing IT Back. U.S. Cyber Wrongdoing Measurements. How numerous individuals within the U.S. are influenced by cyber wrongdoing. An assessed 53.35 million U.S. citizens were affected by cyber wrongdoing within to begin with half of 2022. Between July 2020 and June 2021, the U.S. was the foremost focused on nation for cyber assaults, bookkeeping for 46% of assaults universally. How much does the U.S. lose to cyber wrongdoing? U.S. citizens misplaced $6.9 billion in 2021 to cyber-related wrongdoings, counting sentiment tricks, $956 million, speculation tricks, $1.4 billion, and business email compromise, $2.39 billion. For businesses, ransomware could be a genuine risk to security, with 60% of U.S. associations having their information scrambled in fruitful ransomware assaults. The fetch to amend these assaults fetched a normal of $1.08 million in 2021, a diminish of 49% from 2020, $2.09 million. Are U.S. associations secured against cyber dangers? Shockingly, numerous U.S. associations are not satisfactorily insured against cyber dangers. Fair 50% of U.S. organizations have cyber protections with full cover. A encouraged 28% have cyber protections with prohibitions or special cases within the arrangement, meaning they may not be secured for certain assaults or beneath certain circumstances. Most worryingly, this means around 1 in 10 U.S. associations, 12%, have no scope against cyber assaults. Gambling money-related demolish ought to they endure an attack. The U.S. IC3 office gotten reports from 24,299 casualties of cybercrime. This produced to more than $956 million misplaced. Sentiment tricks and certainty extortion are predominant within the U.S. IC3 gotten reports from 24,299 casualties in 2021, with misfortunes measuring to more than $956 million. 32% of the casualties were over 60, the biggest extent of casualties in 2021. 16% were matured between 50 to 59. Fair 2% were beneath 20. Sextortion is another predominant issue within the U.S. Cyber offenders undermine to discharge touchy photographs, recordings, or data, including sexual acts of the casualty, in case their requests are not met. The IC3 division gotten more than 18,000 complaints in 2021 relating to sextortion. Casualty misfortunes measured to more than $13.6 million. Potential misfortunes to cyber wrongdoing by people within the U.S. in 2022 totaled more than $10.2 billion. Usually essentially higher than in 2021 when people misplaced and assessed $6.9 billion. Considering there were 5 WER complaints within the U.S. in 2022 compared to 2021, this recommends that cyber wrongdoing costs more per casualty than the past year.